Joker is one of those films, like The Revenant or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that feel like they don't really have visual effects and that everything was done for real, or in camera as they say. But in reality, these films actually have a ton of VFX. It's just that they're done so cleverly, you didn't notice them. So in this video, I'm going to go through the film The Joker and point out those very effects that you totally didn't notice. Like this blood, for example. It wasn't even actually there. Neither this blood nor this blood. In fact, none of the blood in this movie was filmed for real. Now, although it may initially seem a lot easier to film real shots of fake blood on set, there was actually a very good reason for doing it digitally. You see, it actually made it a lot easier for filmmakers and more intuitive and relaxed for actors. And this is because they could repeat takes as many times as necessary without having to clean up fake blood from the set and costumes, and reset special effects like squibs, which are small explosions for bullet impacts, in between each take. However, the trade-off for doing it digitally meant that the VFX teams had to create an exact 3D digital copy of the set. And the reason why is this. If you have a specific camera pointing at a wall or flat surface, a blood splatter can just be a 2D layer composited over the top. But if the background or camera itself is moving, the blood splatter cannot be a 2D layer over a background layer, or plate as they call it, because each will move independently from the other. Instead, the blood must somehow be anchored to the wall within the set's 3D space. So to do this, they must know exactly where the spatter point on the wall is on the set's X, Y, and Z axis. And they must track exactly where the camera moves in relation to that point. Then they can put the CG blood on the same point of the axis and have the virtual camera mimic the real camera's motion. But in order to achieve this, the VFX teams must be able to accurately replicate the 3D set inside their computers. So, to create an exact digital copy, the VFX teams must first measure absolutely everything on the physical set, and they do this by using a tool called LiDAR, which stands for Laser Imaging Detection and Ranging. This system scans everything around it, bouncing lasers off every surface and measuring how long they take to return, in order to determine how far away they are from the sensor. Although it may seem like relatively new technology, LiDAR has been around since the 1960s, and it's a lot more common than you might think. It's used in architecture, archaeology, the military, autonomous vehicles, police speed guns. In fact, if you have a high-end Android phone or an iPhone Pro, you probably have a LiDAR sensor incorporated. Anyway, the movie Joker required a lot of LiDAR scans, not only for the CG blood that had to appear on the walls of the train, but also for the CG blood that had to appear on the Murray Franklin show set, and in Arthur's mum's apartment. But LiDAR scans weren't just needed for adding CG blood, they were also used to add more trash and graffiti. For example, this train they filmed in principal photography, and this is how it appears in the movie. Although on the face of it, the addition of graffiti might seem a frivolous use of VFX, when comparing the two, you can see it adds to the deterioration and oppression that surrounds Arthur. VFX were also used to apply this depressive feeling to the city of Gotham itself. They wanted to give Gotham a New York feel without actually being New York. So they shot in New York and then removed things that were too iconic. To add to the oppression felt by Arthur, VFX were used to make everything appear in decline, jaded and weather-worn. They also made the buildings appear taller so that they'd loom over him. Everything was raised to tower above him, dwarfing and suffocating him. This continued even to the point where they filled this space right here with buildings, just so there would be no breaks as they ran by, no little glimpses of blue sky to alleviate the oppression. In films like Joker, The Revenant, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the visual effects were so invisible because they focused on imagery that you feel and perceive but don't necessarily see. Digital effects in general are underrated because it seems like you just get the computer to do it and that's it, it's easy. But in reality, it's an incredibly complicated process that's often too technical for us to be able to appreciate. And that's why here at FilmFocus, we attempt to simplify the explanation of these techniques so that we can all understand the tremendous amount of work, time, and talent that goes into creating effective visual effects. Because unfortunately, when visual effects are effective, they go completely unnoticed. Support Mr. Green by sending us a super thanks. Just click on the thanks button under the video and choose an amount to donate. This will ensure Mr. Green gets a new banana. He will be happy. Also, we really appreciate every last one of you guys, so stay safe and thanks for watching our video.